One of the things on the spiritual journey you have to get over is the fear of being wrong. Because right and wrong are perceptions of the ego. A lot of people in the spiritual community even, doesn't matter if they've been at it 6 months or 50 years, it does not mean that you are wrong or they are right or vice versa. What matters on the spiritual journey is continuing to grow. And the only way you can grow is to stretch out of your comfort zone, which means being confronted with thoughts, feelings, and actions that we're not used to. If you've ever met anyone that has been abused in any way in childhood, what you'll notice is if they haven't healed that, if they haven't addressed it, if they haven't worked through it, they'll often attract that same energy in their partner. Why? They're used to it. Meanwhile, the rest of us are looking at them like, are you crazy? The harm they're causing by staying in their comfort zone, by staying with what they're used to. What's not so obvious to people that don't have a history of being abused is that it is just as dangerous for us to stay within our comfort zone. Why? Because it means we're not growing. If you're staying in your comfort zone, you're not growing. You don't have to change your belief system. You don't have to agree with everyone. You don't have to concede your beliefs in favor of someone else's and what they're pushing on you. What you can do, and this is going to be very difficult for a lot of people, is listen. And a lot of you are thinking, well, I listen just fine. I'm going to give you an example, something that I do quite regularly. I will start a conversation with someone, and usually I can tell by their occupation, their age, different things, kind of where they might lean, religiously and or politically. But I don't indicate to them where I'm at. If they don't already know me, I don't indicate to them where I'm at, because I want to hear them unfiltered, uncensored. I want them to feel trust between us. And in order for people to open up, they have to feel like they can speak openly without judgment. When they see that you're not rushing to judgment, when they see that you're not trying to change their mind, when they see that you are listening intently, they will open up. And as I listen to them, I don't necessarily agree with any or all of what they say, but I get to understand why they've developed the way they have, why they have the beliefs that they do, what human experiences have influenced them, what media sources they're listening to, if any. I get to see a really interesting side of humanity, and I just have learned so much that I can contribute to the conversation and keep them engaged and opening up more and more, that not only am I learning about their perspective, even if I don't agree with it, but I think that they're learning something as well about themselves. As the more they hear themselves speak openly without that fear of someone telling them they're wrong, telling them they're, fill in the blank, right? People have opinions. It's so interesting. Even if they hold some beliefs that you disagree with, this is where you see the beauty of the positive things about them. So it doesn't matter their belief system. You may realize just through them talking to you openly that you have something in common. Like you both like to bake, You both like to go bike riding. You like to paint or draw or anything, play piano. It's when you listen to people without that judgment about, say, their core beliefs, and you can move past that into what do we have in common. And so even if you're talking about religion or spirituality, you see where there's overlap. Like, they're not some condemning person, they're actually very loving. And they could be Christian, Muslim, Hindu, it doesn't matter. They could be extremely loving because they had some experiences that taught them the importance of unconditional love with or without that belief system that they hold. And so then you can discuss with them unconditional love, forgiveness, morals, and perception. It's just so fascinating. I hope that you all try that if you haven't already. Like, next time you meet a stranger and the conversation gets going, don't share with them your views. Just listen. This is not an easy task for most people. It will not be an easy task for most people, but if you can do this and you continue to do this, you will learn so much. You will drop judgment very quickly if you just learn to listen to others. You don't have to agree with them, but you can interview them. That's kind of what I do. I interview people, not officially, but I'm interviewing them when I listen. I don't ask them leading questions. I ask them, for example, I spoke with a Jehovah's Witness one time, and there was some views we shared, and it was so fascinating to hear her perspective. Of course, hers was based on biblical teaching, and that's fine. But it was interesting to me to learn how they interpret certain passages. It's fascinating. Because even in a mainstream belief system, there's no two that are alike. Even within a church, a congregation, a temple, an ashram, no two are alike. They may have certain teachings that they hold up. No two people interpret that the same way.